Yeah, and just really quickly before we get started, I'll just say that if anyone has any technical issues ever with the Mighty Network or rather the Meditation Center, please, shoot us an email. There'll be emails included in the show notes so we can help you navigate. Yeah, so awesome. So go ahead, Jane, introduce yourself.
That's awesome. Well, welcome to our second episode of Off the Cushion. I'm excited. My name's Jane, and I live in the mountains of North Carolina. And I have been a part of Mind Oasis since March of 2020, and I've been a guide. I did the immersion in the fall of 2020, and I've been guiding in community meditation ever since. And I love it. How about you?
My name's Lulu. I live in the Hudson Valley in New York, near the Catskills. I have been a part of Mind Oasis since March of 2020 as well. My teacher started doing a free course during the pandemic, and I just, got involved and haven't left. So I also was in Jane's cohort for the meditation immersion. And yes, I'm a guide on the meditation center, and it's so lovely to be here.
So Off the Cushion is just all about us being here and answering questions that people have submitted or questions that people have during the Off the Cushion talk. And so if you can't make them live, you can always submit questions to Off the Cushion in Mighty Networks, and we will be happy to answer them. And so the first question is just a quick question that someone asked about scholarships, and I'll just read the exact question and then I'll answer it. It says, if someone wants to join the community meditation membership but cannot afford it, are there scholarships? And if so, what is the process for that? So it's a very simple process. Mind Oasis will never turn away anyone who can't afford the community meditation membership. So if you really want to become a part of community meditation and practice with us regularly and become a part of that community, you can email Karuna. And I know Lulu will put her email in the show notes, but I'll just tell you it's Kelly, Kelly, at mindoasis.org. And you just email Karuna at that address, and she will send you back a very simple form that asks nothing about finances. Very easy, and you can get a scholarship. So please do not let finances hold you back from becoming a part of our wonderful community meditation community.
Definitely. As a college student in her mid-20s, I can attest that I've never been turned away. And in fact, I was encouraged to participate, especially when I didn't have the means. So I'm really grateful for that. And that's a big reason why I stick around, because I truly believe that we are there for everyone when they need it, and we don't turn people away. People can leave anytime they want, but we will never turn you away because of lack of funds.
This is not really an answer to that question, but something you said made me want to say something. Earlier this week, so one of our guides needed a sub, Jerry, and another one of our guides, Jessica, had said she would sub. And at the last minute, she had a family emergency and couldn't guide. And so I said I would guide, even though I was on vacation. So then when I go to guide, I'm in a hotel and the maintenance starts doing, it was insane. It was like the whole building was vibrating. I don't know what they were doing on the outside wall of the hotel. And it was so loud, and it was 15 minutes to when I was supposed to guide. And I started panicking, and I sent a message out to all the guides. And Allison Joy, another guide, jumped on the call in case I needed her to take over, because if the noise was too loud. And I just love that, because I just feel like all the guides, our team, we walk the walk, like we're really there for each other. And I just think it's funny that I was subbing for someone else who was hoping to be subbing. And then someone else jumped on to help me just in case because of the noise at my hotel. And I just, someone that was in that session who's a community meditation member, she actually commented and she said that I told her, I said, we walk the walk. We all help each other. This team is just so thoughtful and helpful and compassionate to each other. And this community meditation guide, she said, I can feel that. And she's fairly new. She's only been coming for a month or two. And she said, that actually comes through. And I know that that's the truth. I feel that in the guides and when I'm here in community meditation. And I just thought that that was beautiful because I feel it amongst our team, but to have this member say that about the team, that she feels that, I just thought that was beautiful. So I just wanted to share that.
Definitely. Yeah, I've always felt really supported personally, especially when I've been going through difficult times. And this past year was pretty difficult. So I always felt seen and supported and taken care of, but also listened to. Sometimes you have people in your life that are there for you in a way, but they don't actually listen or understand. And I feel like when I tell somebody what I'm going through here, first of all, the fact that I can feel comfortable being honest about how I'm actually doing with people that I work with is huge, because that's not a privilege that a lot of people can have. A lot of people feel like they need to hide the difficulties and suffering that they experience when they work with people. And that's just not the case here. Everyone has been so open, shares about how they're doing, and when someone's not doing well, the people that are doing better, or rather the people that are in a better place, will extend a helping hand, so that way the person who's having a harder time can recuperate and come back when they're ready. So it's awesome.
Yeah. You want to do the next question?
Yeah, sure. We love this, we just try to keep it casual here, but I love this concept.
I'm all about the casual and informal.
So I'm also done with my tea. Now I'm just playing with the cup. So we got a question. How do you find time to sit when life is crazy? I'm gonna be honest, when my life gets crazy, it gets chaotic, and I actually don't sit. So then I actually feel worse. And then I realize why I'm feeling worse is because I'm not actively sitting or practicing, or even being mindful at all. I'm just existing on autopilot. And I will say, I'm working on being kinder to myself in this regard, but it's also easier to start meditating again than it is to have never started meditating. So what I mean is, it's easier for me to reach out for support, especially with Mind Oasis. I reach out to the teachers, and we have a group chat where we communicate about what's going on and other things. But I reach out and I say, hey, I'm gonna start attending some classes with you guys. I'm sorry I haven't. I need some support getting back into my practice. And we're there for, like we said it previously, we're there for each other. So and then actually putting it this is more of a technical hack, is putting it in my calendar, making to-do lists and adding meditation on the to-do list, because that way it keeps me more accountable. And if I don't check it off, it's wow, I didn't do this for myself. And then it's like a practice. It's okay, wait, am I being kind to myself by doing that, or am I just gently reminding myself that I should do this? And even when life is crazy, finding that moment where you feel okay enough to just even take a minute of silence, like in between, like if you're a little early for work and you're sitting in your car and you can just close your eyes for a minute if you feel safe and just breathe for a second or focus on an object or set an intention. Even the way you drink your coffee or tea, instead of just like mindlessly chugging it, just taking a nice mindful sip. And practice doesn't have to be 30 minutes on a cushion. It could be whatever I just said and more things that I haven't said. So Jane, would you like to add anything to that?
I mean, I agree 100%. I think we spend so much of our life being hard on ourselves, and then when we don't do something, we're like harder, and it just doesn't have to be that complicated. At least this is my opinion. You don't have to sit for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever. I do a lot of what you talked about, Lulu. I do a lot of driving for work from one thing to another. And so I do a lot of just in my car in between a meeting. Before I get out of the car, I'll sit and I'll just drop into my breath and just start following my breath for 1 to 5 minutes. And the difference that it makes is incredible in my day. And I count that as my meditation, So lots of times I think people think if they're not sitting on a cushion, lighting a candle, doing 30 minutes, they don't feel like they didn't do their meditation. And then they turn it into like this, thing that they're feeling bad about. And so I would just say, please be gentle with yourself and just find ways that kind of fit into your life when you can't get on the cushion for the 20, 30, whatever minutes, you prefer to do. And I find if I do that during the day, it just helps me throughout the day as far as mood and how I deal with other people and interact with other people. And then it also kind of keeps a practice going so that when I can sit for 30 minutes, it happens. I want to do it and I do it because I've been doing these little things during the day, during busy times.
Yeah. It's even when it's also the difference between doing something without thinking about it. So I'll use cleaning as an example. If I do the dishes in a way that isn't mindful and meditative, I'll start getting back pain, I'll start getting agitated, I'll start questioning why dishes even exist. And it's kind of similar. I feel it's because then but then I know that sometimes doing the dishes can like trigger those feelings for me. So then I put on some music, and I will always say music isn't cheating. I think music is very mindful. So I'll put on some music that helps me feel more centered and calm. And it doesn't always have to be chanting or like spiritual music. It can be like a favorite female vocalist, something I can sing along to even, and just setting the mood for yourself, and allowing yourself to feel deserving of creating an atmosphere that makes you feel at ease. And you'll be surprised at how like it doesn't have to be rushed, and you'll still get it done with plenty of time left over for everything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I went for a walk on the beach when we were away this past week, and I came back from that walk just like, I mean, this is not hyperbole, like walking on air. Like I felt like, just so energized and joyful. And it was because I did a really mindful walk, and it was almost like it was a meditation. And while I was walking, I was just paying attention to my breath and watching how the sun like danced on the ocean. And then like when I was looking for shells, I would just pick up a shell and really look at it and turn it over and feel it and look at the different colors. And I think I even smelled a couple of shells, and I think there's other times I go on the beach when I'm on vacation and I'm like, like turning it into an exercise thing and just like walking and thinking about a lot, life or like what I need to do the rest of the day or, just not being present in the walk. And it, there's such a difference, And so I think like you're saying, building these moments, these mindful moments into your day kind of goes back to when we first popped on and I talked about that Thich Nhat Hanh quote that you're going to link. Um, you know, to me, that's meditation. So
Right.
doesn't
Yeah.
always have, you don't have to
It's
beat yourself up if you're not on a cushion.
right. Yeah. That's awesome. I'm glad we cleared the air on that. 'Cause that's what off the cushion is about. It's like it's not we don't live a monastery lifestyle. We aren't giving up our earthly realm to exist in this space that only deals with um training the mind. Like we have to exist in a physical reality with other people and other ways of being. So the reason we meditate is to exist more in a more harmonious way with everybody and not to isolate and not to further divide our world. It's to fully experience it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
So we got 2 questions this month that are similar. I'll go ahead and read them. So one says, for a beginner meditator that has trouble with consistent mind wandering, do you have any tips for recognizing the mind wandering? And the other one says, my monkey mind, which I just want to point out in case there's anyone listening or anyone here that doesn't know what they mean by referencing monkey mind. Basically, I think what this person is talking about is mind wandering. Monkey mind is a term that we usually use to refer to that mind wandering, or that sometimes I'll call it the hamster wheel in the head, that ruminating thoughts in your head over and over. And so I think that's what this person is probably referring to when they say monkey mind. And so I felt like these questions were similar. They're both about mind wandering. It says, my monkey mind seems to be worse now after a few weeks of holiday travel. Any ideas how to get back in the groove? Yeah, it's hard. The holidays are whack, it's just like, it's hard to get, they take you out of a lot of your routines and a lot of like regular life. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, got to get back to work, got to get back to this, kids back to school, all of that stuff. So holidays can be hard. I think the biggest thing I want to say about this is that mind wandering is okay. I mean, we say this during our guides. It's okay. I think that people's minds wandering is like the number one reason that people quit meditating, I think, because they're under the misconception that their mind is supposed to completely shut off during meditation. And really what meditation is about is welcoming all of that, whatever comes up, whatever mind wandering happens, and then noticing it, and then just gently bringing yourself back to your breath and back to your meditation. And so I guess my simple answer to this is it's okay if your mind is wandering, it's okay. It's actually very informative. We always talk about like there's 3 main distractions. And I love Karuna's always like, oh yeah, if you find yourself in Tahiti on the beach drinking, drinking a fun drink while you're meditating, just glide yourself back. And I'm like, I'm never on a beach in Tahiti. I'm always like on my to-do list of what I have to do. I'm a planner in my head. And so it's like sometimes we're thinking about something that happened in the past, how we should have done something differently, planning ahead for the future, or maybe you're lucky and you are on a beach in Tahiti and fantasizing or whatever. So those are just like 3 main distractions that everybody has, and it's okay. And I would just say noticing that is going to help you off the cushion because it informs you of how your mind works. And then just gently, just be like, oh, okay, that's what I was thinking about. And then gently bring yourself back to your breath. And even if you have to do that a million times in 1 minute, it's okay. I mean, it can be annoying, especially in the beginning. I was just like, forget this. I'm never going to be able to not mind wander. And it does slow down, and it does, I think it's almost like when my mind wanders now, I'll laugh. Like, I wonder if people see me when I'm meditating, because sometimes I'll laugh or I'll smile to myself because I'm not beating myself up about it anymore. I'm just like, oh yeah, there's my mind again. It's just human nature. And then I just smile and I bring myself back to my breath. So I guess the biggest takeaway from both of these questions that I would say is it's okay. If your mind wanders, it's okay. Just notice it and then guide yourself back to your breath.
Yeah. Jane, have you ever been to Wall Street and the stock exchange in New York City?
I've been to Wall Street, but I've never been inside the stock exchange.
You don't even have to go inside. So there's a marquee
Uh-huh.
of like all the different stocks. I don't know, all the different corporations, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I'm
You
not a
mean the
finance.
ticker tape?
Yeah,
Like yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So meditation is like sitting outside of the stock exchange and looking at that um, marquee of different numbers and of red and green and increase, decrease, whatever. And that's your thoughts. That's your mind. Like, close your eyes, you're still gonna have thoughts. Open your eyes, you're still gonna have thoughts. And the thing is, you just like look and you notice and you experience the fact that it's like removing yourself away from the thoughts, but not removing the thoughts. It's like observing them, like they're on a screen coming in front of you, and you're just like,
Mhm.
oh, it's, and that's why it can be so scary, because you're actually noticing what you think about, and it's not is not always nice.
Yeah. It
That's
can be hard.
and that, yeah, that's why I had a hard time starting to meditate. Um, and I'm just happy that I was stubborn enough to continue doing it, because now when I observe my thoughts after years, it's, unless something is like immediately wrong and I had some sort of conflict, um, like the thoughts do get softer, and um, you can alter them in a way. Like you can consciously be like, I'm thinking about something that is not cool, or is painful, or is negative self-talk about myself, and I'm being unkind to myself by experiencing this. Like, let me go back to my focus point. But you can also just set an intention. Like if your mind is wandering, you can be like, oh, let me think about something that is going to help me. Let me think about how much I love what I did when I was nice to somebody that one time. Or let me think about, I'm going to dedicate this meditation session to my friend because they really need it. Something like that. And then, if your mind is still wandering, it's fine. Just sit there, like, and then the timer will go off and you'll be like, oh.
I did it. I sat
Yeah,
for 20 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's okay. It's okay to have wandering thoughts. I mean, we all do.
Something you said made me think of the word intention. Like when you said, think about, so that's also a good practice is in the beginning, set an intention for like why you're sitting. And then I'm going like this because I always imagine that intention as almost like it's like in my heart. Like I place it in my heart, in my mind. Um, and so like you said, if you find your mind wandering, you could go back to that intention, and just remind yourself why you're sitting before you go back to your breath.
Yeah.
I just think sometimes I think my mind is wandering less after a couple of years of meditating consistently, almost because I'm gentle with myself about the mind wandering. I don't know if
Right.
that makes sense,
It
but
makes sense.
because in the beginning, I'd be like, damn it, why am I thinking about that thing? I always am like planning. I'm always my to-do list. I'm always writing my emails in my head. Like, what's wrong with me? You know, like you said, that negative self-speak. And then what does that do? That just takes you further away from
Yeah.
your meditation object, from your breath, you know?
Yeah.
And so now if you know, very early on in that mind wandering, I'll notice it. And instead of admonishing myself or like starting the negative, I just laugh. I'm like, oh yeah, there's my planning mind again. Ha
Yeah.
ha, there's Jane, you
And
know?
then off the cushion though, it also makes you a more mindful communicator in the world at large. So that's awesome.
Oh,
And
for sure.
yeah.
Because then I
Oh,
notice it and laugh at myself off the cushion. You know, if my
right,
mind starts going and I'm in my day and I notice it's just like, oh, there it is again, you know,
right.
and then I can switch gears in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more thing to this question, because it was like after holiday travel was the specific
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
I had
Hmm.
like a few tips.
Okay,
Unpack
cool.
unpack your bags immediately and organize yourself immediately, because if you're physically still on the trip, as like your bags are still physically packed, your routine is going to be like, wait, I'm home but I'm away and my mind's there and my bag's there. Just unpack, do your laundry. You'll feel so much better that you got it done right away. And get back in the groove, you know. Just make a to-do list. Ask Jane for advice on that.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic. We could do a whole executive functioning tips. That's funny that you say that because I unpack right away and I start my laundry right away, unless it's really late at night. And so we just came home from a trip on Friday and I unpacked and I started the laundry and then I got in the shower and I took like this nice long hot shower and I got out and the first thing I said to my husband was, oh, I feel so good. There's nothing better than unpacking and taking a nice long shower when you first get home, you know? So,
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think aren't we so hard on ourselves? Like humans are so hard on ourselves. It's like, I just want to
Right.
give everyone in the world a hug and be like, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
it's
fine.
okay. Like,
Yeah.
just be gentle with yourself. You don't have to
Right.
do everything perfectly and everything, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And oh,
Oh,
if you don't unpack right away and you don't do your laundry right away, it's fine. You're fine. Just do it sooner than later, because it's only specifically because they want to know how to get back into the groove of a
yeah,
meditation routine. And
yeah,
personally, if I don't set my atmosphere for meditating,
exactly.
I'm not gonna actually do the cushion practice. Like,
Yeah.
so
And maybe also realize that you're just coming off a change schedule and a holiday schedule and holiday travel and just be gentle with yourself and maybe start with 5 minutes, you know, 3 minutes, and then move on, you
yeah,
know, to get back to your regular practice. Like maybe ease back into your regular practice.
right,
I don't know.
right. Or I'm like hyper fixated on unpacking right now. I'm just so jealous that people are traveling and I'm not. So I'm just like, I love packing. I love unpacking. I like, anyway. So even the unpacking can be a meditation. You can like light an
Hmm.
incense and be like, this is laundry. This goes in the bathroom.
Exactly.
I don't know. All right. Like, let's just. I hope that's good advice. I don't know. Just be nice to yourself and unpack your bag.
Oh my gosh.
All
I'm
right.
cracking up.
All right.
Okay. Have
Last
fun,
question.
people. Life is short. Laugh and have fun. Life is short. Okay.
All right. Last question.
Okay. Go ahead.
Do you have suggestions for meditating when your family makes a lot of distracting noises, no matter where you are? So, um, I think when I read this question, I just wanted to relate to it, because I haven't like really lived alone ever, so I always have some sort of person in the house, and it's important to communicate with the people that you cohabitate with. So for before doing anything, talk to the people you live with and tell them, I'm starting this new thing. It's just you don't even have to tell them it's meditation if you're afraid of that. You can say I'm doing daily or daily every other day, however often you feel the need to meditate. You say I'm going to do silent reflection time every day for a certain amount of time, and then I need you to maybe not totally be quiet, but just reduce the amount of noise that you create. As I'm speaking right now, I'm a little distracted because I hear my roommate playing his game.
My husband's coughing downstairs. Like, so, this is real life stuff, people.
I'm like, oh my God, I cannot formulate a thought because all I hear is him like building the garden thing with the like, I don't know, like Candy Crush sort of simulated thing. I don't know, whatever. Anyway.
Well, this is like real life, man, I mean, this is like, that's what I love about Mind Oasis. It's like, we're meditation guides, and yes, we've studied, and yes, we're practitioners, but we're out here in the real world. We're householders,
Right.
And so this is what goes on. So these questions are great because we go through it too. We have this too,
Yeah. So definitely talk to the people you live with. Tell them, listen, I'm meditating. I'm having silent, quiet reflection time at this time every other day, every day. Please respect that. If you need a reminder, I'll tell you. I'll text you before I do it, or just communicate. Just try to communicate as honestly as you feel safe to with the people that you live with. And then there's other things you can do, like you can make a sign for your door. When I lived with people that were a little louder than the person I live with now, I had a little meditation and session sign that I would put on the door, and when the door was closed and the sign was up, they knew that I was meditating. And as I became a guide, it became more imperative that I'm like, listen, I'm guiding. I need silence at this time, and it's serious for me. Please respect this. And the more you do it, the more that they're gonna hopefully respect and see that you're serious about it. And then the white noise machines are very helpful. You can, and also music is not cheating. Play some music, play it to the volume where you can adjust it where you don't hear the noise of the house, or headphones. Any tips and tricks are okay. It just matters about doing the practice at the end of the day. Jane, do you have anything to add?
I was going to say something, but now just as you're talking, something like new came up in my head. I was going to say, like, you could also kind of use it as part of your meditation practice. Like, well, two things that came up. One was if those noises that the family's making, if you like are pulled to that, and then you turn it into being annoyed at them because they're making noise, it's just going to affect your meditation practice more. But if you can tell yourself, oh, okay, this is my field of awareness, these are the sounds that I'm hearing in my field of awareness. So you kind of have an awareness on that. And then, but your attention is on your breath or whatever your meditation object is. Then it just kind of becomes part of your meditation. At least for me, if I can, I mean, I live with two people. I live with my husband and one of my sons, and the other son is here often. So, they are very respectful because of years of me saying, like, what you said, I do with my family. But life happens, people are coughing, they have a cold, like whatever, life happens. And so I just think of it as that's just part of my field of awareness. There's that noise there. Oh, okay, there's that noise. Okay, let me bring myself back to my breath, and just be gentle with them and gentle with yourself instead of like, damn it, I'm trying to meditate and these people, And then I don't know, maybe I'm only speaking for myself. That's how my reaction used to be. And the other thing I wanted to say was that what you suggested, I've actually done in my life. That's like what I did when I first started meditating. I said to my family, and my kids were younger, so they were louder and here all the time, and needing me more, calling for me and stuff. And I would say to them, I'm going to go in my back in my bedroom. I'm going to meditate for 15 minutes. Can you chill? And they did. I would hear them whispering, Mom, where's mommy? Mommy's meditating. Be quiet. It was really cute. And so they got it. And I think a big reason why they got it is because I would come out of that room a better person. You know what I mean? I would come out of that room less reactive, like ready then to like help them with their homework or cook dinner or whatever, and not, and so I think the people you live with will start seeing it off the cushion. And so then they'll really support that.
Right. The people you live with will notice the off the cushion results probably before anyone else does.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Probably
sure.
people you don't see that often, you probably like they wouldn't even notice the difference at first, but the people you live with would be like, are you what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Is it work? It's working. Keep doing it. All right, I'll leave you alone.
Or if you get more reactive, you start being more reactive. My husband will be like, have you meditated lately?
Right. Yeah. That's another thing. People will also use the fact that you like to meditate against you in arguments. Hold your ground. Just don't. Yeah. It's funny because, people are like, oh, you meditate. You must never get angry. You must never have arguments with people. And it's like, no.
We're human.
We're not like, again, and that's the thing is we're physical beings in households and living like lives with material things, with material beings, and we, there's going to be conflict, but at the end of the day, even if you have conflict, when you look back at the conflict and you compare it to when you weren't meditating versus when you were meditating, you'll be a lot happier with how you dealt with it after the fact of meditation, like after introducing meditation with your life. Like I will say, like, there's a stark difference between who I used to be, and it's not all attributed to meditation. I mean, a lot of it had to do with therapy and healing and boundaries setting and all the fancy life coach stuff that Jane knows what I'm talking about. So but yeah, meditation will help, and will help you be a more forgiving person for yourself and others.
Yeah, I mean, we're human. Feeling the feelings is what we need to feel feelings and acknowledge them. And that's kind of what meditation helps with, because you start to notice what your thoughts are and what your feelings are. And so it's just self-awareness and informing you off the cushion of what you're bringing out into the world and how things affect you.
Right.
For sure.
Well,
doing this with you, Lulu, always makes me want to meditate.
well,
After we get off, I'm like, I'm going to meditate. I get excited to meditate.
Yeah, I actually was really excited. I woke up early enough today where I could have like a little morning routine with my plants and stuff. And I was like, ooh, I even have time to do the 9 a.m. on Sunday. So there's in community meditation, which you are going to join now because you realize that I'm talking to the viewer. You are joining community meditation now because you realize there's you won't be turned away due to lack of funds. Every Sunday is Sacred Sunday with a guide, and today was with Allison, and it was really lovely, and I'm so happy I meditated, and I hope that you, Jane, get to meditate today and love it. And I hope whoever's watching have a lovely day and have a lovely session today and meditate and go for it, even if it's just 2 minutes in your car.
Thanks so much for doing this with me, Lulu. I love it. It really, I feel like it's a meditation practice in and of itself. So keep sending in questions. We love it.
Yes, please. And come live. We're here live.
Yes, come
It's on
live
the
would be
events.
awesome.
Yeah, we're events. It's posted a month in advance, and we'll answer questions live if you show up. So, and we won't have time to prepare anything, so you could catch us off guard.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this with me, Lulu. It's always fun. It's always inspiring.
Thank you, Jane.